Good afternoon, gardening friends. This is the 7th in my series on palms that will grow in my 8B garden. And this is the European fan palm that I'll be talking about today. This particular one is probably about 15 years old, since I've had it at least. They're a pretty nice palm. They grow rather tall like this, probably about as tall as this one's going to get. I had another one at one point in time, which is now here. And those of you that have been watching this channel know that years ago I used to have an oak tree, and it actually was between that and my saw palmetto. And when the oak tree was taken down, a chunk of it fell on top of and broke the growing point of this European fan palm. And so that particular one died, and these were the little pups that were coming out along the bottom. And this one's about 30 years old, or at least the original roots are. However, you know, it hasn't grown very tall. It used to be as tall as this one. They were kind of a matched set. So it just goes to show you don't want to damage the growing tip. In order to get them to grow singly like this, you do have to get the pups out, or whatever they call the little shoots out at the bottom. Otherwise, they'll become a multi-trunked bush. They come in slightly different colors or variations in texture of leaves. They all have the same leaves, the shape. However, like this one, they're a little more slender, I should say, the actual fronds themselves. Basically, what I'm trying to get at is if you have a bunch of these in a row, no two are going to be exactly alike. This one does throw out an inflorescence from time to time. There was one earlier this year. If you go back through the videos I posted, you'll see it. The nasty thing about this thing are the thorns along the stems. I'm not going to get any closer to this particular one. They're very sharp and they break off under the skin. However, they can be picked out cleanly with a pair of tweezers. Here's another one of the palms. This one is a little more grayish. It has like little gray streaks in it. That's not a disease. That's the way this particular palm grows. And here you can see a close-up of the stickers along the edge of the palm. The nasty thing about these are if you're wearing loose clothing, they'll tangle up in the loose clothing, and you'll wind up doing more damage to yourself than if you just let it graze your leg. They're sharp on both sides, and what happens if you have loose clothing, it tends to get bound up on the stem itself, and then you wind up spending time trying to pick the loose clothing free. I have one more in a pot, and then one in the front yard. Now let's go back to my deck and we'll look at what Betrox says about this particular palm. Betrox, Guide to Landscape Palms. And there it is, if you can see it. European fan palm, Chamaerops Humilis. It's hardy in zones 8 to 11. Growth rate slow. It's from the Mediterranean region. That's why you may have heard me call it the Mediterranean fan palm a couple of times in my walks through the backyard. It has some problems. It can get scales, palm aphids, ambrosia beetle. Never had any problems with that. It does suffer from potassium deficiency, Ganoderma, fungal leaf spots. I just fertilize it when I fertilize my other palms, and I really have had no problems with it. I have not ever lost a European fan palm yet. But there's always the first time. In any event, there you have it. European fan palm. I have bought some from Lowe's, so they do get them from time to time. In fact, the reason I have so many small ones is I happen to catch Lowe's nearer Thanksgiving when they wanted to get rid of them, and I got $40 or $50 palms for not but $5 a piece, and I figured at that price I would go ahead and find a spot for them somewhere in my yard. Hence I have a lot of the European fan palms. Okay, have a good day.